and then you just make these baby steps.
We got a steak right here. This is a good one. Oh yeah.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This is Chad at Endless Potential, and today I wanted to go over the most foundational principle that people forget in the fitness industry, and that is enjoying the process. Now, what does this mean? So, enjoying the process is understanding that we have a long-term goal. It's a lifestyle. This is not meant to be a short, quick fix to get to a certain end goal and then call it quits, right? We want to develop habits that will benefit us in the long term for decades. What I mean by this is, for example, most people will use I need to get fit for a wedding in 6 months or a year. I need to get fit before it gets hot, and it's time for the beach. All of these things typically are just short-term fixes, and so you rush. You don't mind if you're starving yourself. You don't mind if you have to work out a ton, and you don't really develop a habit. You just make it a sprint to a finish line, and then you get there and then you call it quits. And that's not what we're wanting. What we want to do is develop those habits day in, day out, so we can have a healthy body for the long term. And to enjoy the process, we need to take it one day at a time. So there's a few different aspects to this that we can improve on, right? It don't have to be only bodybuilding. Whatever sport, whatever hobby it is that you enjoy, that's going to benefit you as far as getting healthier, that's the main goal. And so in my context, I like to do bodybuilding workouts. I like to do the bulk and then the cuts, and then see if I can get a muscle to grow a certain way, have my body shape, get better and better year after year, right? But maybe you like to go hiking. Maybe you like to go play tennis. Maybe you like to swim. Whatever it is, you find your thing. I'm just going to talk about it in the context of what I enjoy. So when it comes to that, we need to have good training, and we want to have a progressive style training so we don't get bored or lost. So enjoy the grind, because as you get better and better at doing this, and as you're pushing your limits day in, day out, what it's going to mean is you're no longer making huge jumps. You're now going to be fighting to get 2.5 extra pounds on the bar, or an extra rep, or an extra 10, 15 seconds at the end of a run. Whatever it is, it's going to be very, very marginal, but those little gains that you get day in, day out add up over the year and the decade. And so enjoying struggling and getting to that new limit is part of the process. Don't think that, if I can get my body fat down to here, then I'll be happy forever, right? Because what ends up happening is, as you reach a goal, you now don't have nothing to look forward to. So just understand that the goal is enjoying the process. Then it changes the whole perspective, because now you're just thinking about, how do I continue to make improvement in general, instead of thinking, I'm going to be done in a year. Because when that happens, you lose the will to continue to make improvements in your training. Also with your nutrition. That means that if you're starting off and you're eating a ton of junk food,
Oh my God, bro. Oh, hell no.
well, we can clean that up. It's not like you have to jump from one extreme to another. So if you're eating out 5 days a week, you don't have to tomorrow go home cooked meals only, weigh everything on a scale, and start counting every single calorie you're eating. You don't have to go that far. What you can do is you say, you know what, I think I'm going to try to limit myself to maybe 3 times a week eating out, and maybe I'll cook at home. It doesn't really matter if it's the exact, healthiest meal. Maybe it's just getting into the habit of cooking more at the house, and then you just make these baby steps.
We got a steak right here. This is a good one. Oh yeah. So it's not a big one. This is a nice little small meal. I don't know if we want to double up on steaks today or not. This is definitely a smaller size steak. It's fine. If I'm hungry later on, I'll just eat another cookie.
And so week in, week out, week in, week out, month in, month out. Then eventually you look back a year and a decade from now, just like with your training, and you have made a ton of progress. Now you've gotten to the point where you're no longer even thinking about reaching for the pizza rolls in the frozen section when you go shopping. Now you're looking at more the price of meats and how can you make better food at home. Or you're finding out healthier options as you do go out. Say you can't afford the time to cook at home and you're always on the go. Just look for those healthier options because now you're getting the ability to choose how to make progress. That's the issue I see that happens the most is people get lost in it. They forget to enjoy the process of just getting better. And that also comes with, setting, a healthy amount of time for sleep. Really, adults, if you're being responsible, should set somewhat of a schedule so you're getting at least a good amount of sleep. It doesn't mean you have to go to bed at the same time every night, but it's best if you can. But at least get a healthy amount of sleep, 6 to 8 hours roughly. It's no less than 6. And this is going to really translate to having a much healthier and responsive body. And also it's going to help your cognitive ability. So when you're making these decisions, right? So when you're having to put down the ice cream or make that decision not to go buy those cookies or that pizza, your brain is going to be more sharp because you've had better quality sleep. So the decision itself becomes easier. You don't have to do it all at once. You don't have to go and start getting into the training 6 days a week and also weighing all your food if you wasn't even doing any of that before. Just try to, get to the gym 2-3 times a week, do some exercises that you can enjoy, and then learn how to get better at them. And then you're going to start to expand on the ability for you to understand what it is that you actually would like to do. Because at first, all exercise is exercise, and then eventually you can find a niche of what it is that you actually like to do. Maybe it's powerlifting, CrossFit, bodybuilding, calisthenics, cardio, maybe marathon running, stuff like that. And so when you focus on those day in, day out goals, it no longer seems like it's a dreadful time frame of, man, this is never going to end. Because the thing is, it's supposed to be enjoyable. It's supposed to be enjoyable. And this is what a lot of people miss out on. And so enjoy the process and don't look at others as well. What I see a lot of people do is, especially with the growth of social media, is now we are getting to the point where we look at others and we say, oh, they're so far ahead. They have a physique I could never achieve. And what you really need to focus on is your own progress. It's your own progress because we all have different starting points and we all have a different ability to do different things because you're an individual. And so the best thing that you can do for your mental health and for your physical health is just focus on how you can make progress for yourself. What this ends up leading to is more enjoyment in the entire thing. And so now you can say, man, I'm really happy with how far you've gotten. How did you do this? And you can learn from these people and then apply it to yourself and see if it works, see what doesn't work. And then you can make further and farther progress. I'm using this word quite a bit intentionally because that is what the goal is to move forward. You don't want to become stagnant and you don't want to go backwards. So don't look to others for where they're at or where they have started. Just understand, say, this is where I'm at. I'm not training at all. I'm not getting into the gym at all. Maybe I'll just try to get in there once to twice a week. Maybe I'll try to be a little bit more conscious of what I'm eating. Maybe lay off of the energy drinks and choose to have some water.
That's better. Wow. Who the fuck drinks this shit?
Those things are going to be transformational if you are just starting today. I see a lot of people say, oh, I don't know how to get started. And that's how it is with anything, right? Most of the time you overthink it instead of just doing it. And so just find one thing that you want to improve on and then just do it. And then just continue to track it and just track it. And next thing you know, you're going to be even way farther than what you ever would have imagined. And if you had just sat back and continued to think about it, it's procrastination, really. It happens to all of us, including myself. And so just like with me creating YouTube videos, for a long time, I didn't do YouTube. I just started recently getting into it this past year, and there's a learning curve to it. I didn't know how to do editing. I didn't know how to do filming. I didn't know how to do lighting. I didn't know how to talk to a camera. I didn't know how to do any of these things, right? And so as I have gotten more and more involved in making these videos, I am learning a skill set, and that's the same way it is with training and having a healthy life. If you're lost in the sauce, per se, at this time, don't worry. There's a lot of people that start that way, and don't feel bad when you go into the gym and you don't know how to use a certain piece of equipment, or you don't know how to do a certain exercise. There's plenty of people in the gym that would be more than willing to help you. And also, you're going to have a channel like mine where I love to just discuss the training. I love to discuss nutrition. How do we get farther and farther? There's plenty of channels out there. And so plenty of information. Don't feel like you can't start. And so that's the main point I wanted to get across. Just start. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.